Hello, this is Yuvin. Yay! Are they recording? Yes, it is. What if these are my headphones and I attach the mic to the headphones so that it's more like up here and so that it doesn't waste on my shirt? Yeah, I was smart today, but it looks weird, but it's alright. It's cool. So, today, what we're going to talk about is a very important and interesting and very important topic for writers. This video is for writers or movie writers, scripts, and stuff like that. Just whoever writes stories. How to write the perfect manuscript. Firstly, if you ever hear the word perfect manuscript, like as some real word out there, it's all a hoax. The idea of a perfect, something perfect, never exists. Nothing is without imperfections, and perfection is kind of like an opinion. Except, obviously, the most perfect system of, how the world is going on and stuff like that. Except that nothing is perfect. Humanly, things are never perfect. So if you're hearing the term a perfect manuscript, that doesn't exist. That's just the opinion of this one person who's talking about it. So if I had made a video talking about the artistic essence, that was all my opinion. You can find it more. Well, it was not basically, the video wasn't even about like if I liked the song or if I did not like it. It was more about, if the song was poetic in itself, if the lyrics were poetic. So those were not like based on how those songs, like I was rating them on how they are and stuff. And even if someone's like rating songs like which song is better, then there's no need to bash them if your opinions don't match, because it's just their opinion. Okay, now that that's cleared out, I'll talk about the ideal manuscript and what you really should do if you want to make your manuscript work. So the most important thing, as I've talked about, is that you realize that everyone has different opinions, and there are millions of readers out there. There are millions of readers out there, if not a billion, which is like someone is reading something. They're reading philosophical paper, they're reading history papers, they're just reading books, they're reading stuff like that. There are millions of readers out there. We're reading a lot all day. Not all day, but we're reading a lot in this world, okay? It's a progressive world, and we read, we write, we're literate. We do that. So, because there are millions of readers in this world, there are millions of opinions in each of them. So, if you have written a manuscript and you hand it over to your friend, it has a 50-50 chance that they would like it, and if they would not, because it's an opinion. So you cannot judge your whole manuscript based on that one opinion. You're going to be publishing a book, and then readers are going to come across it, and they'll be putting a post that this book was so bad. The style was so less poetic, was so too poetic. It was like as if it was written by Shakespeare. But people like Shakespeare, don't they? There's nothing that's just too poetic or less poetic. Every reader has preferences. So if you are finding a post like that, critiquing your work, criticizing your work, that's because the readers who are really interested in your work haven't found it yet. It hasn't been marketed as well. Because, that's one of the things that irks me, that we are not able to market our books that well, like musicians are able to with all the shows and stuff. So that's something that irks me, which I talked about in my other video, in my big visions and aspirations video. So the idea of an ideal manuscript is, if you really want to look at your manuscript flaws, then it should not be based on that. Is it too poetic? Is it less poetic? Is the style too childish? What you should really be looking at is, do the words flow smoothly, and does your work just really, the metaphors start to contradict each other? It makes sense if it's contradicting and they're contrasting, like it's contradicting, because if the character's feeling they're changing, or if they're going through a change. But one character cannot be this and then feeling a whole different thing and having this, unless it's like their personality. But you cannot, by like contradicting, I mean that, like, it was even happening in my own manuscript, that if I've made a character, like, they're in the phase where they're feeling kind of like emotionally detached, but then I start to give them feeling with a few words, which I don't realize it, but I'm just giving them a lot of stuff that really contradicts that. So that's what, when the readers are going to be kind of confused, or your manuscript is going to have those imperfections which really taint your work. So you're going to be looking at those contradictions. You're going to be looking at how smoothly the words are flowing, and they're not like, it's not turning out to be like too much description, or description in a way which makes it confusing, and the words, when you're reading it yourself, they're just like mushing up together and not really making a vivid image in your head. So those are the things to look at if you're looking for a manuscript which people will like, and which readers will understand. Because if you're like talking about ideal manuscripts, that's the only thing that you just look at: the grammatical mistakes, the flow of the work, and you focus on that your manuscript isn't contradicting itself. It actually happened a lot. People do not notice it, like in when you're having drafts and people don't notice this, and then you're just gonna look at it and it just like feels out of place. So one thing to look at is that, really importantly. Other than that, if you're worried about the style, if you're worried about the concept of the book, then don't needlessly worry. As long as you're satisfied with it, as long as you think, yes, this is my work and I like it, then go on with it. Find beta readers which really are kind of like in your the in the which are interested in the kind of book that you wrote, and beta readers like that which are interested in your style, because you just kind of want to get the opinion, like, that if the words are easy to understand, if the flow is good, if the overall flow is good. Because sometimes it can also happen that a reader is reading a book and they're like, oh my god, the flow is not that good, but it's just because it has some of the metaphors which just a normal reader doesn't understand. And the specific reader of, like, who likes reading literature and classical literature with metaphors and Shakespeare, it's a kind of book that is for those kind of people. So if readers are not liking your book, and that's what's really affecting you, then that's what really affecting you, that's what makes you think that your manuscript is not good, then no. If you're there complaining about the way you write, then no. It does not mean that your manuscript is lacking something. It's just that it hasn't found the readers that you were really aiming for, the readers that would like your work. So that's basically that. Brain freeze. Oh my god, what was I saying? Wait, I'll check it out. Yeah, and if you wrote a book, like, if you're giving it to beta readers and they're like, I think it doesn't like flow smoothly, and I think you did some like messing up here with the grammar, or you contradicted your own writing, or it doesn't really suit, then go and look at it, change those things. And if they're like, the flow is not good, then check it out yourself. The flow may just not be for them. It might just like have a lot more metaphors. But to be like I would say there is something such as too many metaphors. Just don't like overdo it. In my opinion, don't overdo it. But if you're really diving deep into it, I think you can still find readers who really like a lot of metaphors. But you know, like one metaphor on another that a person gets like confused. Those are really nice too. I don't know. Just don't make it flow smoothly, okay? And just do you. Everyone has such diverse opinions. Like if you like just look into the writing community, one there it's not like even polarized. It's like completely everyone with different opinions. It's hard to find a person with your entire interest. Like they might have like actually it's not that hard. There's millions of readers out there, there are millions of writers out there. It's it's bound to happen that you're gonna find someone who understands you and your writing style and your reading style. So yeah, don't really worry about it if you're worried about that. You're just gonna find a reader who enjoys what you write, really. And if you think that, oh my god, everyone writes and people have written like this, people have written like that already, and I don't think I really need to write this because this idea resembles this work already, then you're never going to be able to write anything that original because there's so many books out there, so it's gonna match obviously something. As long as you're not like intentionally plagiarizing, then it's fine. And keep writing, keep shining. My beautiful, beautiful writers out there who try so hard and come up with different worlds, and then they're like, oh my god, this world resembles that world a lot. Don't worry about it that much as long as you're not plagiarizing the main idea of another book. And do you, and you'll find your people. Best opinion. Do you, even you can even apply it onto daily life. Do you, and you're going to find your people. That was it for the video. It was really short and I filmed it elsewhere without the lighting. So I might look a bit more uglier than usual, but that's it for the video. And if you have any more ideas, if you want to know anything else in future videos, then you can comment it down below and tell me if you have any queries and everything. So bye bye. Oh, also this video was specifically targeted for that one muse who was actually like really asking for it, and I hope you got the answer. Bye bye. Love you all.